Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome on in. If you're new around here, I'm Astrologer Victoria from Your Wings of Ascension. And today we are looking at this super full moon in Aquarius. We are looking at this from the Leo Aquarius axis. We're going to look at the aspects of the moon. And we're just going to talk about how to use this energy to help us step into the future that we came here to build. All right, so first things first, let's just break down a full moon. What is a full moon? Technically, the full moon is when the sun is over here, the earth is in the middle, and then the moon is over here. The sun is shining all of its light directly hitting the moon, which then the moon is reflecting back down onto earth. So from our perspective here, we have a ton of bright light at night. Everything in the night is visible to be seen. Yeah, I know we have electricity, we can do that all the time, but put yourselves into a world where there is no electricity or you choose to turn it off. You can see at night. Go out into the forest, you can see a whole lot at night under the full moon. Energetically, we've got the same kind of thing going on. The sun representing our conscious awareness, our ego, our who am I, shining directly onto the moon, which is our inner self, our emotional self. This is the part of us that reacts without thinking, and this is the part that has to think to react. They are both looking at each other square in the face, and we are having this complete awareness from outside and inside. And what are we having the awareness on is this Leo Aquarius axis. So Leo being, who am I as the individual? What brings me joy? What gives me passion? What makes me so unique and special? And then Aquarius being the little bit more broad spectrum viewpoint, understanding that we are a collective and we are here together. So with this full moon, we are looking at ourselves as the individual and seeing, who am I? What makes me unique? But what is that uniqueness here to do for the collective? So the first bullet I have here is detachment. Aquarius is really very detached. Now, if you followed my stuff before, you know I am very Aquarian dominant, so that is not a shame on us Aquarians. That is not a shame on anything Aquarius. That's just the fact. We tend to remove ourselves emotionally and see things for how it is. So right now we're all being asked to step into that field. And that's actually a blessing when you have this heightened intensity emotionally with a full moon, a super full moon at that, because we're able to step back and see things from this higher perspective. So seeing who you are from a higher perspective can feel a little weird because it's like, well, I need to see who I am. Who am I? But step back. How would you be described by your friends? How would you be described by your coworkers? How would you be described by your family? The little bits and pieces from each of those groups is going to help you see who you are as a whole. But the most important part of this is seeing who you are as a whole from your higher self perspective. So zoom out away from yourself here on earth and connect with yourself in the higher realms. Detach yourself from your human form and see yourself as the soul essence of who you are. The next thing I have on this bullet list is individuality. Because we're in this Leo Aquarius axis, we have to see who we are as an individual. And while Aquarius does celebrate the collective as a whole, Aquarius is also very much about being completely unique. When you have Aquarius, a lot of times people describe it as the weirdo, as the black sheep, as the one that, Aquarius doesn't dance to the beat of its own drum. It salsas to the beat of its own tuba. So Aquarius does its own thing. So celebrating the individual is important for both sides of the axis. And it's extremely important that right now we know who we really are at a soul level. Who are we? Again, we have our conscious awareness meeting with our emotional inner awareness. So it's easy for us to see these things reflected from one side to the other. This connects us into who we are as a spiritual whole. The next thing on the list here is beliefs. Now I have this here because the full moon is squaring Jupiter. So the sun square Jupiter, the moon square Jupiter is kind of an uncomfortable moment because Jupiter represents our higher awareness of community. It is our generosity, our optimism. It is awareness beyond our own little tiny bubble. So a square aspect is not an easy one. It's an uncomfortable, almost confrontational conversation between planets. So again, our conscious awareness, the sun, and our emotional inside, the moon, is in this squaring conversation with Jupiter. So this is a moment where we have to look at our belief structures and see where we have grown, because we've grown, period. Every one of us has grown and changed. Happens all the time. But the thing is, when you work with the energies of the moon, when you work with the energy of astrology, the goal is to grow and change and be better. So we have to stop and take time to see what is no longer in alignment for us. This can be hard because when we are honest with ourselves, we realize that certain things that perhaps we've held on to our whole life are just not right for us anymore. And with this being in Aquarius, Aquarius rules over the collective, but it also rules over our friends. So we may start to realize we have outgrown certain friends, that we've outgrown certain friend groups. This can be really hard. Letting go of people you've known for a long time, or maybe it's someone you've only known for a short time but you feel connected to, if they're not on the same path that you are on. And I don't mean everybody has to do exactly the same thing. That's the shadow of Aquarius. When I say on the same path, I mean you all want the same thing as a vision for the future, right? If you're someone who is adamant that we need to have flying cars, right? We're going something a little weird because I'm not going into the super deep stuff. We all know where you are with that. But say you really believe we need to have flying cars, but your friends over here say, no, we need to all be riding skateboards. If you both believe this in the deepest chambers of your heart, you have a clash here. It's time to detach from that and say, I respect that this is what you believe, but I respect what I believe. And with kindness and love, I say you do you and I do me. Does that make sense? Like I said, I don't want to go into like the really intense stuff. One, because the overlords get mad. And two, because I don't want to taint anybody's thoughts about where we're actually going. But looking into yourself and seeing what your deepest truths are and what your plans for the future are is where we are starting to tweak our beliefs. So yes, plans for the future is there because one, Jupiter is all about our optimism and our awareness beyond our own bubble, but Aquarius also rules the future. So Aquarius looks into the future with the intent of improving today for tomorrow. So having this awareness of what we want for the future is really significant right now. This full moon is asking us to see what it is that we want. What is our belief for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? What is our belief for the next generation, the next 2 generations, the next 100 generations? Aquarius is asking us to go within ourselves and find who we are, what we believe, and know what our ideal future looks like. Knowing that our ideal future isn't going to be the end game because it takes us as a collective to create the future. But when we know what we want, we can then share that with others. When we know what we believe, we can share that with others. And we can start forming together. Again, we don't want to go into the shadow of Aquarius, which is one size fits all. We had plenty of that in our past. We had way too much unhealthy shadow Aquarius with everybody has to conform. Everybody has to be the same. Everybody has to do everything. That ain't it. It's time to celebrate the individual that makes the collective beautiful. The melting pot. Everybody is different. Everybody has something to offer. And together we work towards a goal. So with this square to Jupiter, again, we're seeing what our beliefs are and how they have changed and how they have grown. We're also seeing what we need to change. So my advice for this full moon is to really feel into and embrace the Aquarian detachment. What do I mean? First and foremost, anybody that has Aquarius in their charts knows being alone is essential to Aquarius. And yes, I know we all have Aquarius somewhere, but if you have a very predominant Aquarius placement, you are not someone that does well with people all the time. You have to have your alone time. So make it a point to be alone. I know for a lot of people, all the Libras are like, no, I don't want to be alone now. I feel you, but it's essential. It doesn't mean all the time, it doesn't mean all day, but give yourself some time to be alone with yourself, with your higher self. Remember, Aquarius looks at everything from a super, super higher perspective. You know, it's on the top of the skyscraper looking down at everything happening. So give yourself time alone and connect with your higher self. We're feeling into what our beliefs are and what we want for the future. So meditate on this, free write on this, create art on this. Aquarius is not very emotional, so trying to tap in from the side of emotional understanding is probably not going to get you very far. But actually using your mind, thinking things through logically, that's going to help you out through this, which is why I say free writing. I think free writing would be great for this. You sit down, you put pen to paper, and you just start going. Free drawing is great because you're letting things come to you. Aquarius also has a beautiful gift of intuition, connecting in with the greater realms, because Aquarius is ruled in modern astrology, to which I go with modern astrology. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, which is the planet of the cosmic beyond. So tap into that. Let your little Aquarian antennas out, all of you aliens, and connect in with the greater cosmic beyond. This square to Jupiter is really the only aspect we've got going on, so it does kind of make it heavier. And because it is a full moon, a super full moon, we have an intensity. And the biggest thing with a full moon period, whether it's Aquarius full moon, whether it's Cancer full moon, whether it's Scorpio full moon, it doesn't matter, is this is a time of seeing where we're at, seeing what needs to be changed, releasing and forgiving. So forgiving ourselves, forgiving others, and just allowing that grace to come in to make changes. It's very, very healing time, which Aquarius is not too vibing with the whole, feeling thing, but we have to release, which Aquarius loves, so that we can move forward. The whole point is to grow, and you cannot grow unless you strip away the old. So I hope this makes sense. I thought that maybe I was going to go through this for each sign, but I just feel like this needs to be so individual that if I even go into it and say this is in your 5th house of fun, it might taint your mind a little bit, especially because I'm super Aquarian. I have such a strong vision with this myself that I don't want to lead you down a path that's not right for you. So really, just let go and let yourself be, which sounds so strange, but when you completely step back and just are still, things start to come up. And if you're sitting and you're meditating, things come up, I have no problem with you just jotting it down and then going to the next thing, because I know for me, Aquarius Mercury, if I don't write some things down, I'm going to forget them. So I'm on board for that. Go ahead, do it. But really, again, it's a super full moon. The energy is intense. We've been feeling this, like we want something better for the future. We're not really sure what it is. We've had this massive square with the nodes. There's a lot of changing and growing as a whole. So please, if you do anything, use this full moon to tap into the Aquarian detachment and just be. The vision that I get from Spirit is us just floating. Aquarius is the water bearer, the bearer representing truth. Float in the waters of the cosmic beyond. Let yourself just absorb being in the never-ending galaxy that we are. Envision yourself truly just floating. Start there and then see what comes. What do you hear? What do you feel? What do you smell? What things go by you? It's all about letting the outside go and going within. All right? I hope that this helps you. I hope this gives you some insight. By all means, please, please, please feel free to ask questions. I am more than happy to answer you. If you are someone that uses social media, I do have Instagram where I give you more things over there as well. So please feel free to reach out. Thank you so much for being here, and I'm so truly honored to help guide you through this. As I say every time in my daily videos, and I do mean this, you've got this, especially because this is such a powerful moment. If you trust yourself, truly trust yourself, you've got this. You don't need me. You don't need anybody. You're good. Go do you. That's what Aquarius is about. Aquarius is about I do me, you do you, we live harmoniously together. The shadow of Aquarius is I do me and everybody else better do me. Don't go there. Be the person that stands in your own confident, secure joy. Tap into that Leo. And then when you see someone else in their confident, secure joy, even if it's different from yours, give them a high five and keep going. That's not an easy line to walk, I know, but when we finally get there, when we finally get to that age of Aquarius and we are able to just dance in the streets and celebrate that we are different, won't that be the best thing ever? Truly, envision that. So two things. Start in envisioning yourself just floating in the cosmic forever, and let your higher self guide you from there. And then envision this beautiful age of Aquarius where we can all celebrate ourselves as individuals, and we can let ourselves be confident in our strengths, but also in our weakness. And where we need extra guidance, support, where we don't have the knowledge, we turn to those who do. And we celebrate what I can't do, you can do. What I don't know, you know. And vice versa. Isn't that what it's all about? Isn't that why we're here? From this Aquarius to you, enjoy the full moon, be safe, be smart, take good care. You've got this, we've got this. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you again very soon.